Get ready to witness a political showdown that will leave you speechless. This isn't just another Senate hearing. This is the exposure of a betrayal that's shaken the core of American politics. In the next 90 minutes, one person's career will be dismantled by undeniable facts. Ilhan Omar thought she was untouchable, a rising star with media allies and a loyal base. But today, she picked the wrong opponent. John Kennedy, armed with evidence and unrelenting precision, is about to deliver a takedown that will echo through history. The Senate Judiciary Committee hearing room buzzed with tension cameras flashing and whispers rippling through the crowd. Ilhan Omar entered with her usual flair, flanked by a team of polished advisors, media strategists, and high-priced lawyers, a political machine built to weather any storm. For years, she'd dodged scrutiny with carefully crafted narratives, deflecting criticism with accusations of bias. Today, she planned to turn this routine oversight hearing into a platform to cement her influence, to paint herself as a victim of unfair targeting. She'd done it before. Discredit, deflect, destroy. It was her playbook, and it had worked. Or so she thought. John Kennedy walked in alone, carrying a single leather portfolio, his southern drawl and unassuming demeanor masking the storm he was about to unleash. No entourage, no theatrics, just a senator with facts. The contrast was stark, a political juggernaut versus a man who'd spent years mastering the art of cutting through nonsense. The committee chairman banged the gavel, calling the hearing to order. Omar seized the moment, launching her opening salvo with rehearsed indignation. "Mr. Kennedy," she began, her voice dripping with confidence, "your questions today seem rooted in a pattern of targeting certain voices in Congress. My record speaks for itself, a commitment to justice, equality, and progress." It was a classic move, framing herself as the noble underdog while implying her critics were motivated by prejudice. She leaned back, expecting Kennedy to fumble or back off. The media was ready to amplify her narrative, headlines already forming in their minds. But Kennedy's eyes didn't waver. A faint smile played at the corners of his mouth, the kind that signals a hunter who's spotted his mark. The room grew quiet, the air heavy with anticipation. When he spoke, his voice was calm, but razor-sharp, each word deliberate, slicing through the room like a blade. "Congresswoman Omar Kennedy," said his Louisiana accent, carrying a quiet authority, "since you're so proud of your record, let's take a closer look at it. Specifically, your campaign finances." The room froze. Omar's confident smirk faltered just for a split second, but long enough for everyone to notice. This wasn't the script she'd prepared for. Kennedy reached for his portfolio with the precision of a surgeon pulling out a thick stack of documents stamped with the seal of the Federal Election Commission, FEC. "I have here evidence of systematic misuse of campaign funds that raises serious questions about your commitment to the American people." The words landed like a grenade, and the chamber erupted in murmurs. Omar's advisors scrambled, whispering frantically, but Kennedy didn't pause. He held up the first document, a detailed FEC report, and projected it onto the chamber's monitors for all to see. "Let's start with something simple," he continued, his tone deceptively folksy. "Can you explain why your campaign paid $2.9 million to a consulting firm owned by a close associate for services that appear to have never been rendered?" Omar tried to recover her voice, steady but strained. "Senator, those payments were for legitimate campaign activities, voter outreach, event planning, standard operations." But Kennedy wasn't having it. He flipped to the next page, revealing bank records that traced the $2.9 million from Omar's campaign account to E Street Group, a shadowy consulting firm with no verifiable office, no staff, and no record of campaign work. "Congresswoman, this firm doesn't even have a website. No employees, no address, just a P.O. box in Delaware. Yet your campaign funneled millions to it. Care to explain? The question hung in the air unanswered as Omar's advisors leaned in, urging her to pivot. She tried deflecting with a rehearsed line about her grassroots movement, but Kennedy cut her off. "Let's not get sidetracked," he said, his voice now carrying a hint of steel. "I have receipts, literally. Bank transfers, canceled checks, and emails from your campaign directing these payments. And here's the kicker, the owner of E Street Group is your former chief of staff, who mysteriously resigned right after these transactions." The chamber's monitors lit up with a timeline, each entry a damning piece of evidence. March 2019. Omar's campaign receives $1.2 million in donations. April 2019, $800,000 transferred to E Street Group for consulting. June 2020, another $1.1 million paid to the same firm with no corresponding campaign activity. Kennedy's voice grew sharper. "Congresswoman, these aren't small errors. This is a pattern, millions of dollars funneled to a shell company while your campaign claimed it was for voter outreach. Meanwhile, your district in Minnesota saw no such outreach. No rallies, no ads, no canvassing. Where did the money go?" Omar's face tightened, her earlier confidence crumbling under the weight of Kennedy's facts. She tried to pivot again, accusing him of cherry-picking data, but Kennedy was relentless. He produced a sworn affidavit from a former campaign staffer, a young woman named Emily Carter, who'd worked for Omar's re-election bid. "Miss Carter," Kennedy said, gesturing to the secure video screen, "please tell the committee what you wish."